From the favelas of Sao Paulo, Brazil, to communities in Belize, from China to Egypt, no matter where I go or who I communicate with, there is always a nervousness that dwells within me. That nervousness comes from wanting to connect, wanting to look someone in the eye so that they can see me and I see them, and so that we can both understand what our dreams are, our goals, and our aspirations. When I first got the invitation to be a part of this TEDx talk at the University of Central Arkansas, I was extremely excited. And then I got a little bit nervous. What made me nervous was the theme, an idea whose time has come. Such a powerful theme, but what is the idea that allows you to connect with the audience? Is it an external idea? Understanding our imagination and innovation and how that can propel us forward to create things that help us understand the origins of the universe and where we need to go as humanity? Or is the idea more internal, an understanding of the spirit, of our heart's desire to connect with others? As I thought about it, I soon realized that sometimes that idea whose time has come is not external, is not some grand innovation that has yet to be created, nor is it internal. It's not looking deep within. Sometimes the idea whose time has come is the reaffirmation of an age-old truth, a truth that I'll tell you in a second. You see, we live in an interdependent world, and what happens in one part of the globe has an impact on you no matter where you live. A global financial crisis will impact your pocketbook and your wallet. Failed states who don't take care of their people can lead to a rise in terrorism that can impact you right here in the United States. And we all know, by not taking care of our planet, not improving our environment, it has an impact on all humanity, no matter where you live, if you're within certain borders or a part of an island nation. This interdependent world requires that we connect, we understand, and then we move forward together. The idea whose time has come is really about that connection. I first realized that in South Sudan, in a city called Juba, which was once the centers of the resistance during 20 years of civil war. About 10 years ago, I was a journalist working not only on humanitarian aid initiatives, but also telling the stories of people who were trying to rebuild their country after decades of civil war. When I first arrived in Sudan, I was extremely excited because every image that I saw on the ground reminded me of what it was like as a kid growing up in Maryland, flipping through the pages of National Geographic magazine, seeing images of people working in their communities, walking to neighborhood wells, children playing in the dirt with these bright and beautiful white smiles. So one fateful morning, I decided to capture some of this footage on my video camera. I was creating a documentary to tell not only the diaspora community who left Sudan during the Civil War, the rebuilding effort that was taking place, but also a video that can help the international aid community invest more in these southern Sudanese projects. As I left the makeshift camp that I was staying in and started filming the images of people going about their daily lives, they're probably images that you've seen before online or in a book. Women going to the local well with these large containers on their heads filled with water. Those same children that I could remember growing up in Maryland in National Geographic magazine playing by their huts. All of the images were beautiful, but the peace of that moment was broken the moment I heard screams, I wasn't able to bring the camera down. There was a little bit of fear there. And so I panned over in the direction of where I was hearing those screams. And the image that showed on the video screen was a woman screaming and pointing in my direction. As I lowered the camera, I was suddenly surrounded by a group of villagers from the Nimeratalata community in Juba of South Sudan. And in that moment, yes, nerves took over, but I wasn't going to give up my video camera no matter how much they wanted it. And I realized that we couldn't communicate with one another. They didn't understand English. I didn't understand the broken Juba dialect that they were speaking. The moment continued to get tense, and I was thankful for a man whose name I will never know. Only in my diaries and journal entries, I refer to him as a good Samaritan. He came walking down that dirt road and saw this confrontation. He intervened. Luckily, he knew a little bit of English, and he understood the dialect that they were speaking. And through connection, he was able to communicate with both parties and diffuse the situation. They understood him. I could understand him. And then once he diffused the situation, they left. Of course, I was thankful. And I said to him, "What happened? What was the meaning of all of it? All I'm trying to do is do something good for the citizens of South Sudan, tell their story so that people can invest in the development efforts there." He said, "Well, you see, their concern was this. You were videotaping their community. And what you don't understand is during the height of the Civil War, when the government in the North wanted to understand what was going on in the resistance in the South, they would videotape certain communities that they thought were the center of the resistance. And then those communities were systematically ransacked and burned. So though you meant no harm, when they saw that video camera, it reminded them of a dangerous past. You have to understand the history if you're ever able to move forward and connect with people." What he talked to me in that moment and what he made me realize is that more than ever before, connection is about lowering the temperature. It is about raising the level of civil discourse. It's about being able to facilitate a meaningful discussion about who you are, what you believe in, and where you want to go. That's what we need more than ever before. If mankind is ever going to move forward, if we are going to achieve great things again, it takes listening to every single person, regardless of race or religion or who you love. What is it, not only that you want, what are the desires of your heart, and what are your true experiences? When I talk about civil discourse, I don't mean blindly following the most charismatic person in the group. I'm talking about listening more than talking. Hearing not only what the person says, but really putting yourself in their shoes. Think about their experiences before you make a judgment. Truly consider how a decision will impact them and their family and their community before you make a decision. Raising the level of civil and intellectual discourse in our communities, in our country, and across the globe takes us looking at each other face to face, being willing to listen and learn from one another, and recognizing at the end of the day, there is more that unites us than that which divides us. For when we raise the level of civil and intellectual discourse in our communities, from Sao Paulo, Brazil, to Cairo, Egypt, from the Kakuma refugee camps in northern Kenya to Dangriga, Belize, no matter where we go, no matter where I've been, I've always recognized that you have to meet people where they are. You have to be willing to understand their heart's desire, and you have to be willing to couple courage with compassion, which will lead to compromise and collaboration. Raising the level of civil and intellectual discourse across our globe truly means listening and learning. It means forgetting about the politics of personal destruction, whether it's on a campus or in a community or in our nation. It means recognizing that all humanity has to breathe the same air. In many ways, we all cherish the future that we hold for ourselves and for our children. It means tireless striving will always stretch its arms toward perfection when we realize that the I is a part of the we. Together, we can always make a difference if we're willing to listen and learn from one another. The idea whose time has come is not external, nor is it internal. It is a reaffirmation of an age-old truth. We need a return to civil discourse. We must listen and learn from our neighbors, for then and only then can we truly be what we need to be. Thank you.